It's Willis. This week I read The Plague by Albert Camus. It was pretty short, like 120 pages, so I was able to read it very quickly, and that means that I had more time to write this. But before we get started, I noticed only 35 people are subscribed, so thanks to whoever subscribed. I know it was you, Mitch, but yeah, shout out to GamerBoy80. I had already read The Plague by Albert Camus some 3 years ago, and that book struck me heavily. That is to say, I was already aware of his philosophies, specifically absurdism, and I must say that I already found myself invested in his ideas before I read the book. The Stranger starts off in the most happy way I can imagine, with the death of the main character, Marceau's mother. You would think that perhaps this event would be the catalyst for some life altering journey full of pain and lament until he finally realizes something important, but no. Marceau has a striking indifference towards the death of his mother and even falls asleep during her funeral. If I did that, I'm sure my mother would rise out of her casket just to smack me. Anyway, from this we see that the man doesn't particularly feel much emotion. No sadness, no happiness, no nothing. His worldview is gray and he seems very complacent, almost as if he was already dead. Nothing remotely phases him, not even the death of his mom. Obviously, Marceau's character could be reasonably questioned, as his lack of grief for his mother's death was non existent, and he almost struts about with an air of ignorance, as if it never even happened, didn't know his mother, which is not true. With this brought to light, it must be said that at least he doesn't fake his emotion. He refuses the shallowness of crocodile tears. Whatever he may be feeling on the inside, if anything, at least it's not amusement or hatred. Merceau made a few questionable relationships in the short time afterwards. One with his coworker Marie, who he did naughty things with, and the other one was named Raymond, who was his neighbor and someone with not the greatest reputation. None of that bothered Marceau, though, who even showed his support to Raymond when he got arrested for domestic abuse by testifying that Raymond's then girlfriend was cheating, showing a strange set of morals, if they can even be called that. Raymond's bad reputation with his ex-girlfriend's brother got him put on the naughty list by a group of Arabs who began to follow them over town. Marceau noticed this and was somewhat intimidated, but overall didn't do anything about it. All of a sudden, they're having a great time at the beach together, Marceau, Raymond, Marie, as well as two of Raymond's friends who were married. Everything was fun and calm. That is until Raymond, Marceau, and the married guy decided to go for a long walk on the beach, where they found two Arabs, one of which was the brother of Raymond's ex. They got into a bit of a kerfuffle, a goofy debacle, if you will, a sort of Hunger Games Battle Royale Fortnite, if I may. This ended up wounding Raymond, who then left with the married guy to go see a doctor. He gave his gun to Marceau. Some more things happened. Marceau ended up walking back down the beach with the gun and found the Arab again. And with what I will take the liberty to call a lapse of sanity, he shot the Arab 5 times. What happens when you shoot somebody? You go to jail. Marceau was in jail for 6 months. He was taken to trial and convicted of murder and sentenced to death. This sentence changed the way he thought about the world. He had been living day to day without a care in the world. It didn't matter to him if he was alive or dead. It didn't matter if he enjoyed himself. It didn't even matter if he had friends or a spouse. But in his relatively short time in jail, a day would pass without his execution happening, and he would rejoice in that day. Another day of life was a blessing to him now. Even in a cell, his existence filled his heart with happiness. Although he was once a stranger in this world, he finally seemed to recognize what the point of everything was. He realized that he was now as his mother was before she died, sitting, waiting for her final day, and he realized that he should cherish it fully. I'll end it with a quote from the last paragraph of the book. So close to death, Maman must have felt free then and ready to live it all again. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Yeah, shorter video this time because the book was short. Next book I'll be reading is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens.